Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the 2026 cybersecurity landscape, and let me tell you right off the bat, the old rules of the game, they're completely gone. You know that classic cinematic stereotype of a lone hacker in a dark hoodie typing furiously away at a terminal? Yeah, go ahead and forget that. That image is totally dead. What we're actually dealing with today are highly industrialized, fully automated cyber syndicates. We're talking about groups that operate exactly like multinational corporations, complete with R&D budgets and literally their own HR departments. They are leveraging cutting-edge tech to move faster than we've ever seen. And we're going to break down exactly what this means for organizations worldwide, pulling from some of the top security reports out there. To really set the stage, listen to this quote from the Fortinet 2026 Global Threat Landscape Report. It perfectly hits the nail on the head. Risk is no longer defined by sophistication. It is defined by velocity. In the past, companies were terrified of these highly complex, custom-coded pieces of malware that took weeks to slowly creep into a network. Well, not anymore. The number one danger to businesses right now is just sheer overwhelming speed. Today's attackers are using AI to operate at machine speed. They are totally bypassing traditional patch cycles and human-driven response times. So if you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, let it be this: speed is the new battlefield. And the economic stakes of all this speed, they are mind-blowing. $10.5 trillion. That is the projected global cost of cybercrime in 2026, according to recent data from SentinelOne. To really put that into perspective for you, if cybercrime were a country, it would be the third largest economy in the entire world, sitting right behind the US and China. So we aren't just talking about a dent in IT budgets anymore. Cyber attacks are literally shaping global economies, disrupting massive supply chains and completely eroding public trust. Pillar 1, a new era of velocity. Okay, so how exactly did things get this fast? Check out this specific window of time, 1.2 hours. According to Palo Alto Networks Unit 42 Global Incident Response Report, this is the new fastest recorded time from an attacker's initial access all the way to data exfiltration. Just over an hour. It really wasn't that long ago when defenders had days, maybe even weeks, to spot an anomaly, figure out what was happening, and isolate a machine before any data actually left the building. That window has shrunk to practically zero. Think about it. If your security team goes out for a lunch break, a breach could literally begin end-to-end, and your data could be gone before they even sit back down at their desks. And this crazy compression of time is happening because AI has become an absolute force multiplier for threat actors. They aren't just experimenting with AI on the side anymore, it's baked into their routine. They use it to automate vulnerability scanning within minutes of a new software flaw hitting the internet. They parallelize their reconnaissance across hundreds of targets at the exact same time. Plus, generative AI is churning out these hyper-personalized phishing lures that are basically indistinguishable from real legitimate emails. You know those old typos and weird grammar mistakes we were all trained to look for? Gone. In fact, Microsoft's Digital Defense Report pointed out that AI-driven phishing is now 3 times more effective than traditional campaigns. It's letting criminals scale up their operations with zero effort. Pillar 2, hackers don't break in. This brings us to a fundamental shift in the very mechanics of a breach. We really need to separate the Hollywood myth from the mundane reality. The myth is that attackers are out there hacking through firewalls with complex, zero-day exploits and walls of scrolling green code. But the reality? They're literally just logging in. Attackers simply take stolen identities, credentials, and session tokens, and they walk right through the virtual front door. I mean, why spend weeks trying to break a reinforced window when you can just buy the front door key on the dark web for a couple of bucks? And the scale of this specific tactic is what's truly alarming. Identity weaknesses and loopholes played a material role in nearly 90% of Unit 42's major incident investigations over the last year. Let that sink in for a second. 90%. The root causes here are usually basic misconfigurations, inconsistent controls, and just giving way too much identity trust. Attackers love exploiting these fragmented identity environments to quietly bump up their privileges and move laterally across networks. Without a doubt, identity has become the new security perimeter. So how are they getting their hands on all these identities? Well, they are aggressively weaponizing AI to bypass modern verification checkpoints. According to the Microsoft Digital Defense Report, the use of deepfakes and AI-generated synthetic identities shot up by an astonishing 195% globally. These forgeries are getting so incredibly good that they easily defeat standard selfie checks and liveness tests. We are even seeing wild cases where attackers use deepfake audio to clone an executive's voice on a phone call, tricking employees into authorizing massive wire transfers, or just directly handing over their credentials. Section 3, the extortion economy. Once these groups manage to log in, their financial motivations start evolving super fast. We are witnessing a massive pivot right now, moving away from traditional file-locking ransomware and shifting toward pure extortion models. Think back to old ransomware. It was all about encrypting your systems and demanding some crypto to get the decryption key. Modern extortion? It honestly often skips the encryption part altogether. Attackers just focus on stealing your most sensitive data. We're talking customer records, intellectual property, internal emails, and then they threaten to leak it all publicly if you don't pay up. This is a crucial shift, because if an attacker simply steals your data, your pristine backups and recovery plans, they become completely irrelevant. The data is already out there. And the reason they keep doing this is simple. It is incredibly lucrative. The median ransom payout nearly doubled in just one single year. It jumped from $267,500 in 2024 to a whopping $500,000 in 2025. Organizations are actually paying these demands because, frankly, the regulatory fines, the massive legal liabilities, and the permanent reputational damage from a public data leak are often seen as way worse than just eating the cost of the ransom. Data theft has become the ultimate leverage.
Pillar 4. Supply chains under fire.
Now we have to look outside the immediate walls of an organization, because the hard truth is you are only as secure as your weakest vendor. Verizon's data breach investigations data reveals that third-party involvement in breaches has doubled year over year. Nearly 1 in 3 breaches, 30%, now originates from a trusted external partner, supplier, or vendor. Your data is constantly flowing across organizational boundaries every single day, and attackers are well aware that smaller vendors usually have way fewer security resources than large enterprises do. The thing is, supply chain risk is no longer just about attackers sneaking some vulnerable code into a software update. It's much broader now. It's about the exploitation of trusted, everyday business connectivity. We are seeing attackers compromise third-party SaaS integrations. They're exploiting overprivileged cloud identities and totally unmanaged API keys just to blend right in with normal, legitimate, automated traffic. They're even poisoning the open-source packages that developers rely on every day. The threat is literally woven into the very fabric of how modern businesses connect and operate. Pillar 5. Fighting AI with AI. But hey, it is not all doom and gloom here. To defeat these automated threats that are moving at machine speed, organizations have to adopt a modernized, crystal-clear defense playbook. First step, unified governance. This means breaking down those stubborn silos between data security, privacy, and compliance so you have total visibility over where your sensitive data lives and how it moves. Second, phishing-resistant MFA. We have to move way past simple text message codes. We're talking hardware keys and advanced biometrics to completely neutralize credential theft. And third, AI automated response. You have to ensure your security operations center can detect and contain threats at the exact same machine speed the attackers are using. Ultimately, it's all about adopting a true zero-trust mindset across the board. And the really good news? Defenders are successfully leveraging AI to fight back too. According to SentinelOne, autonomous AI agents now handle up to 90% of routine security operations center triaging. That's huge. AI is helping security teams remediate threats incredibly fast and with way fewer false alarms. These AI agents can act in literally seconds. They can suspend a compromised account or trigger an emergency password reset the absolute second high-risk signals align. They are containing breaches before they ever even get the chance to escalate into a full-blown crisis. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to take away from our explainer today. In a world where machines are constantly attacking other machines, where intrusions are measured in minutes and hours rather than weeks and months, is your human team moving fast enough? It is the defining question of the 2026 threat landscape. Thank you so much for exploring all this data with me today. Keep learning, keep adapting, and stay secure out there.